it feels like it might kill you. I had so much backlash in the beginning of my transition. You will become the 5th person that hates your life and abuses drugs and does all those things. Welcome to the Trans Boss podcast, home of the Trans Boss movement, the place where empowered trans people come to discover what it takes to become the best versions of themselves. I am your host, Jasmine Vine, a Transfem trans empowerment specialist and the CEO of Javine, and I'm here to guide you on this empowering journey. In each episode, we'll dive deep into topics that matter to us trans people, like navigating through societal challenges, as well as building resilience and embracing an empowering mindset. We'll explore it all. We'll also bring on some incredible guests who are making a positive impact in the trans community. The Trans Boss podcast is your go-to resource for empowerment, hope, wisdom, and epic stories from empowered trans bosses across the globe. It's time to kick life's ass and create an empowered, authentic you. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Trans Boss podcast. This is going to be such a profoundly impactful episode if you put these things into practice, because we are going to be talking about your greatest fear. Your greatest fear. And I know you're probably thinking, Jasmine, you don't know nothing about me. How are you supposed to know my greatest fear? I know a little bit about human psychology, and I know a lot of it about the unconscious mind. I teach it all the time. And so one thing I know is that humans have a need for love and connection. Think about it. When you were a baby, were you able to stand up and you were able to go get yourself food and get a bottle of water and, plop off on your own? Probably not. You would have to be the most advanced baby in the universe, because that's not what humans are. So humans actually are pretty well useless for the first few years of our lives, right? We have to have someone look after us, to wipe our ass, to feed us, to bathe us, to do everything for us. And so what does that do unconsciously? That says to us that it is super, super important that other people care about me. In those formative years of your life, if other people did not care about you, you would not have survived. So this is extremely, extremely important to understand, because it is a primal driving factor in our unconscious mind, is that desire to have people care about us. And so we care about what others think. This is one of the biggest fears at the beginning of transition for most trans people. It's the questions: am I going to be accepted? Is my family going to support me? Is my partner going to break up with me? Am I going to be, lose my job? These are very real fears that people have at the beginning of transition. And it's why you care about what others think about you. This is the reason. This will stop you from transitioning for ages. And this is why people live in denial for so long. I know there's probably some of you listening to this right now who have been in that situation where, oh no, I'm just going to live my life in the closet and I'm going to, go about my life just staying like this, living in denial. Or some people even go hypermasculine or hyperfeminine, or, wherever they're sitting on the gender spectrum. That denial is a very common trans experience. And a lot of the reason for that is because being cared for is so intrinsically linked with your safety that your primal response is to comply with the herd that you're in. Oh, the herd, right? So the herd has certain expectations. Depending on what, herd you're in. You might be in a religious herd. You might be in a herd of people that have been quite poor throughout their lives. They're going to have certain values and certain ways of living, certain expectations. Every group of people is going to have a different set of those things. Whatever one you are in, the chances are when you step outside of the expectations, the herd is going to introduce corrective behaviors. So they'll throw doubts at you. They'll tell you that no one will ever love you. They'll tell you that you'll never be a woman, or you'll never be the gender that you think you are, or they'll tell you that you'll lose your job, or they'll cry and grieve the perceived loss of the version of you they thought they knew. And this stuff is painful. Ouch. This is so, so painful. And that keeps people in the closet for ages. That keeps people in denial for ages. You know, I always say one of the most important things at the beginning of a transition journey is to find a community, to actually find an accepting herd and to be a part of that. You know, I had so much backlash in the beginning of my transition. Hello, lovely. If you like what you're hearing so far, and I hope you do, then you are going to love the free trainings that I have. So these trainings have helped hundreds of my own clients and my followers get into a place of empowerment, loving their authentic selves with more hope, comfort, confidence, and safety. And that is really what we're all about here. So if you're listening to this podcast, there's something for you, you know, trans or not, whether you're interested in trauma healing or, you know, learning to live a more empowered life, in control life, or if you're just sick of your voice getting you misgendered, then these trainings break down my core methodologies to help you with all of that and more. And it's the methodologies that I use with all of my clients. So you can register for that via the link in the description box below, and I will see you there. Mwah. Now let's get back into the episode. Thankfully, not so much from family, but, you know, in school, getting all the bullying and everything, there was a lot of backlash online to the videos that I was posting. And that's actually originally why I created the Trans Boss Network, which is my Facebook group and, you know, Discord. You can join that if you like. It was originally called the Trans Support Network. And that was because I wanted to support other people through their journeys. And I wanted to feel supported myself because I didn't feel supported. And so it was so important for me in those early years to make connections with people who knew what I was going through, who could say, hey, I've been there. I've, you know, struggled with that myself. And there was some camaraderie, there was some, you know, solidarity between us, because when you don't have that from the herd that you're in, it feels dangerous. And I want to make that super, super clear. It feels like it might kill you, because if you didn't have the people in your herd care about you as a baby, it would have killed you. If you were pushed out of the herd, out of the community, it would have killed you. Knowing that the unconscious mind's prime directive is to keep you safe, what do you think that means? You're going to bend backwards. You're going to self-sabotage. You are going to do all of the things in order to stay safe, which initially might be trying to stay in that herd. This isn't just applicable to transition. This is applicable for anyone who wants to make a change in their life, who knows that they can create a better life for themselves. Like, I can make the assumption that the fact that you're here means that you probably want a better life for yourself. This, you looking at other possibilities for your herd. Because your herd isn't just the people that you surround yourself with. That's a very important part, but it's the things you listen to. It's the things you hear. It's what you watch. It's, you know, what you surround yourself with on social media. All of those things. It's your information diet. This is something I talk quite heavily about with my mindset clients, actually. All of those things are going to affect where you're at in life. It's said that you become the 5 people you spend the most time around, and it is so, so true. So if you don't like where you're at in life, if there's things in your life that you're not happy with, look at your environment. Look at the people you are spending time with, who you surround yourself with. Because if you are surrounding yourself with 4 people who drink and, you know, go out every night and they take drugs and they complain about how much they hate their life all the time, chances are you're going to become the 5th. And that is just what it is. Like, that is the pool that we will experience. You will become the 5th person that hates your life and abuses drugs and does all those things, because you will want acceptance from that group of people. And so you'll think, feel, and act in the ways that provide that acceptance. And if that is drinking, taking drugs, and going out every night and complaining about people and hating your life and all of that, then those are the accepted behaviors of that herd. You are going to feel a massive drive unconsciously, whether you know it or not, to continue those behaviors, to do those things, to think those things, to feel those things, because that means acceptance from the herd. That means you're not being kicked out of the herd. That means you're safe. Because this is where we talk about, you know, surviving versus thriving. If you just want to survive and you want to have a life that's kind of just okay, or maybe it's even kind of shitty, but you're comfortable with that, you can choose to do that. Absolutely. Stay in the herd, like stay with that herd, that's fine. But if that's not what you want, then understand that you will self-sabotage majorly through just the desire to connect with your herd. So if your herd isn't going the same direction, they're not lifting you up, they're not helping you to get to those goals and to create the life that you want, if they're not cheering you on, then you are going to self-sabotage. And you're probably going to be in a situation in your life where you go, why is this happening? What the heck? I'm sick of living this way. Why can't I just do blah? Why can't I just be blah? Why? And oftentimes it is because your herd is pulling you back. So if that's not something you want, then this is something to have a think about, isn't it? Because if you want to change that, then you've got a difficult decision in your future. And really, there's only three options. You can stay in that herd knowing that it's going to keep you from getting where you want to be. You can moderate the time you spend with them, and you can put your, shift your energy into the herds that uplift you and help you get to where you want to go. Or you can walk away. Worth thinking about, right? This is really, really inherent stuff within our unconscious makeup, within our primal drivers that are going to make a massive difference to you. We have that need for that love and connection. We need to care about what others think about us, or that they care about us, because it is linked to our survival. This is massive. If you implement this, if you look at your life and go, okay, what is my environment currently? Who am I surrounded with? Where do I want to be? Where am I at currently? And you break that down and go, are the people around me supporting me and helping me to do that? If not, you've got a decision to make, don't you? So that is all from me for this one. And I hope this has been super expansive. This is I love talking about this stuff. I get so excited because people need to understand this stuff. This should be taught in schools, right? I am so passionate about this. So thanks for coming along this journey, and think about your herd. Think about what herd you want to be around. And listening to this podcast is one step into potentially changing the herd that you're in. So that is all from me. Until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Transboss podcast. If you support the Transboss movement, it would help immensely if you could leave a review on your favorite podcasting app, follow us, and share your biggest takeaway from this episode on social media. Don't forget to tag me at jasmine.vine on Instagram, because I would love to see it. Now get out there, do the things, and take the next step into that empowered life you deserve. See you next time.